Where are the appropriate checks and balances? That's the question being asked by accountability watchdog JAMP. It comes following an extensive dive into the Auditor General's report into the various ministries, agencies and departments. O'Shane Masters reports.
In January, the Gleaner reported a $1 trillion crisis. But further checks by accountability watchdog Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal JAMP has put that figure to $3 trillion. The serial offenders, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. The Education Ministry has not given an account for spending, which totaled $902 billion. Similarly, for 10 years, the Health Ministry spent $695 billion, for which it has provided no documentation, and the Labour and Social Security Ministry has not accounted for $53.4 billion. But while that is the case, the accountability watchdog and political analyst and former parliamentarian Lloyd B. Smith has raised concern about the meetings of oversight committees which are to examine these reports, which are sent by the Auditor General, namely the Public Accounts and Public Administration and Appropriation Committees. These bodies have met less than 10 times for the year.
It is extremely troubling because this is the people's business, and when we look at the backdrop of the whopping salary increases that our parliamentarians have been receiving, in any private sector organization, they would have what you call dereliction of duty. And in this particular case, that is exactly what it is, dereliction of duty. And unfortunately, we do not have a way to penalize these parliamentarians apart from every 5 years when we vote, and then a lot of voting does not take such matters into consideration, unfortunately. But at the same time, I do believe that some of the things we can do, for example, is name and shame.
Mr. Smith is even more perturbed at the work of the PAC and has lashed out against the opposition. That body, which is chaired by the opposition, only sat twice this year, May 28 and July 16.
It is very troubling, and we have to wrap the opposition party for this as well, because that should be part of their role, to be the people's watchdog. And of course, the media has to play its role in highlighting this particular troubling matter. But again, one would hope that in our parliamentary system, where there's a loyal opposition, that it should be more proactive and it should be out there championing this particular cause of accountability.
As for Executive Director at JAMP, Jeanette Calder, there is much work for the Jamaican populace to do, starting with the $1 trillion issue. She says it must be on the lips of civil society and the media at every press conference. As for ordinary citizens,
JAMP has access to information tool on its website. You just need to know who you want, click the name of the entity, ask the question, what have you done, Minister, about the fact that we don't know where this $902 billion went? Hit send, and the law says the minister has to respond in 30 days.